And 88% of teachers say hunger causes the concentration issues. We know that. So people who are on the front lines with our children, these teachers, they just see this hunger issue all the time. I love this backpack program because it allows you to put the food in the backpack, and you might as well have books in the backpack as much as food, and it makes kids feel good and allows them to be able to get what they can get to do well. You're all volunteers up here today, is that correct, Lisa? Do you understand that when you do this, what this means? I mean, do you really understand that when you volunteer and you do something, what it really means to feed kids? I mean, the fact of the matter is, as I like to say, it's my personal belief, I mean, somebody can argue with me, these kind of good acts are entered into the book of life. The book of life doesn't disappear. That book of life passes into eternity. I don't think the Lord judges what we do as opposed to one act versus another. I was just reading John Wesley said the other day that the Lord himself loves it when we give someone just a cup of cold water when they're thirsty. So when you're feeding all these kids, and I know you're probably not thinking this way, but I'm going to put this in your head just so you might, once in a while, when you don't want to go or you're tired or whatever, realize that these things you are doing are helping to repair our world. And that is our mission as humans here on earth. It's to help repair this creation which we all inherit. And when you're taking care of children, that's the gold star. You can't get any higher than helping children. Now, sometimes you look around and you see people doing heroic acts that you might read about in the paper. Unfortunately, we read about more things in the paper that are just the opposite of heroic acts. But whenever we do hear about heroic acts, and sometimes they're splashed across the news, which just pops right into my mind right now. There's a guy that landed in that plane over there in New York in the water, and how he didn't exit the plane. We were all, Sully, I think was his name. We were all like, wow. Or when we look at these people who are in Kenya right now trying to save these hostages, and we look at it and go, wow, I could never do that. What you are doing by feeding these kids is as important as what anybody else does. It's not the size of what you do. It's the intent and the purpose for what you do. I completely believe it. If I didn't believe this, I wouldn't do this job. It wouldn't be worth it. What was the point of it? So, I know we don't like to think for those who are believers, and those who aren't, God bless you, it's okay with me. We don't like to think about points on the board. I kind of like to think once in a while about points on the board. Because, what I know is that if I can and you can do something to lift somebody, to help them heal, to help them to do better, to help them discover their purpose, this is going to be with us forever. It changes us when we help somebody else. And none of it will ever be forgotten. So, when you're just out there lonely and driving your car and putting gas in it, the car's not working right, and your spouse or somebody else, your friend says, why do you do this? You can explain it to them that I'm helping to heal the world. You might think that's a political statement. It is not. It's what I firmly believe. You just ask my wife. This is what I try to teach my daughters and my friends, and what I try to do, although we all kind of fail, right? We all don't have the time that we want to put in to helping those that can't help themselves, or those in need, or those who suffer terrible loss. But we can do the best that we can do. And it's appreciated. So, We're going to keep feeding hungry people, but we have to give hungry people an opportunity in our state, and that is a good thing. That's why it's so important that we grow jobs. It's why it's so important that we take people, the mothers and fathers of these kids. We need to give them skills, and we need to get them work, because that's what pulls them out of this